Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the media. Let me welcome you to our post-Cabinet press briefing for this week. Cabinet met yesterday, the 3rd of February 2015, and coming out of that Cabinet meeting, the head of the Presidential Secretariat and Secretary to the Cabinet, Dr. Roger Luncheon, will bring you highlights on a number of matters Cabinet wishes to bring to the public's attention through you, the media, after which we will entertain questions on Dr. Luncheon's opening statement and subsequently on other topical matter. I'll hand you over to Dr. Roger Luncheon.
Thank you, Kwame, and good morning again, ladies and gentlemen of the media. Cabinet met yesterday on the 3rd of February 2015. Arising from that Cabinet meeting, these are the matters that I will be bringing to yours and the public's attention. Iwokramo International Center, financial straits. Third statement of principle. And then Cabinet snippets. Appointments, the Walter Rodney Commission of Inquiry. Allow me to start with third term statement of principle. Former President Bharat Jagdeo has authorized the following declaration of principles, stating the following. He remains committed to not pursuing any further appointment to elected constitutional office or posts in Guyana. This, his most recent statement, reiterated a public position, one that he has repeatedly declared since he demitted, since he left office after the 2011 general elections. This most recent statement is in part a response to apparently the deliberate attempts to create uncertainty at this particular point in time in Guyana by the filing of a constitutional motion that essentially seeks to void constitutional amendments that limit the term of office of an elected president of Guyana. Former President Jagdeo, who is named in that motion by the applicant, has disclosed his disinterest in the matter and his formed resolution not to entertain further constitutional post holding. This, the former president insists, is his position of principle, consistent with his earlier declarations to the public, to all and sundry concerning this matter. Financial straits, Iwokrama International Center. Cabinet, at its meeting of February the 3rd, 2015, continued its review of the financial straits, a situation that continues to be experienced by the Iwokrama International Center. The center, set up in the 1990s by an international accord that included the government of Guyana, has been experiencing financial difficulties over the more recent years. In the face of inadequate and the untimely interventions by the international community, part of the accord, the partnering government of Guyana has been providing financial support to the center. Cabinet's assessment of the current situation is influenced by the continued lack of necessary financial support being provided to the center by its international partners. That awareness has led to government's decision to again extend financial support to the center. To that end, Cabinet has approved another financial tranche, this time $100,000 US. This tranche from the government, intended from the proceeds of the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, is intended to provide bridging financial support for the center. And this is as it implements its 2015 financial plans. The current dire financial situation of the center would be eased, Cabinet reasons, as that 2015 financial plan is successfully implemented, and importantly, as the international community financial support to the center is resumed. cabinet snippets. Appointments. President Ramatar has sworn in Attorney at Law Sase Gunraj as the newest member of the Guyana Elections Commission. The swearing-in was done on Tuesday, February the 3rd, at the office of the President, and he would be replacing the departing Commissioner, Dr. Mangal. The Attorney Gunraj is the latest. Actually, it is the third member of the legal fraternity appointed by the governing People's Progressive Party to the Guyana Elections Commission. The President has also approved the appointment of Mr. Derek Cummins, the director of the Small Business Bureau, as the permanent secretary in the government of Guyana. Mr. Cummins is now assigned duties as the head of the budget agency and the accounting officer in the Ministry of Tourism, Industry, and Commerce. And his appointment follows the departure of the veteran public servant, Willett Hamilton. Lastly, the Walter Rodney Commission of Inquiry the life of the Walter Rodney Commission of Inquiry has been extended by the President from the 31st of January 2015 to the 31st of March, 31st of March 2015. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the matters I wanted to bring to your attention. And as Kwame indicated, I would be feeling prepared to field questions on my opening statement and on matters of topical interest in any order whatsoever. Thank you. You couldn't miss that, could you?
You couldn't miss that, no. Mr. HPS, money being advanced from the GGMC. Recently, the GGMC advanced the sum of $3 billion, which was what, $15 million US dollars, to Central Housing and Planning Authority. And now it's advancing a further $100,000. In a statement, the DGMC also indicated that it had been releasing money to Ministry of Works and a lot of other agencies. Question number one, how much money does the GGMC have? And what is it that is preventing the GGMC from turning its money over to the consolidated fund when this money is accumulated to that extent?
The funds that are accumulated at the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission are essentially the collections of royalty paid by miners as they exploit a wasting natural resource. This is the valuable gold, diamonds, and other fuel, fossil fuel, and other assets that belong to the people of Guyana. They are what we consider the patrimony of the people of Guyana. A statutory mechanism, the Mining Act, reposes in that commission the collection of the royalty on behalf of the people of Guyana. Those funds, once collected by GGMC, are indeed available. They are indeed available for the pursuit of government's intentions, the executive intentions for the people of Guyana in the context of implementing policies and programs of the executive. The statute is fashioned in a way that indeed allows the Commission to retain those funds and indeed to invest those funds, but to, at any particular point in time, and presumably at the discretion of the administration, as has been adopted, as has been declared, with the two examples that you have mentioned, at the discretion of the administration, the use of those funds. So, the support of the housing sector, a policy of the government, a priority of the administration, saw Cabinet's approval for the use of the funds collected on behalf of the people of Guyana by the Geology and Mines Commission. Similarly, the Cabinet's approval for those funds also to support the Guyana partnering with the international community in its responsibility for maintaining the Iwokramas International Center. It's another cabinet decision in support of policies, this one not originating with the current administration. As you recall, this was one of the highlights of the latter days of the President Hoyt-led PNC administration, just immediately before its removal from office by the People's Progressive Party in 1992. The sum that has accumulated, there is nothing in those statutes to which I referred, and this is a point that has been made in the Parliament and in many other fora by successive ministers responsible for mining. It was the Prime Minister who had this portfolio for many years, and more recently, Minister Robert Prasad, who made the point that the statute does not impose an obligation on GGMC to transfer funds at the end of any stipulated period, whether it is at the end of a fiscal year or depending on the size of the fund that is accumulated. There is no stipulation, there is no statutory obligation for such funds to be transferred to the consolidated fund. As it is right now, it is a discretion, absolutely a discretion, exercised by central government, by the administration. If you asked me, I would have to humbly acknowledge my unawareness of what the actual holding is right now. But I suspect I can join with others who would reasonably feel that it is probably a significant sum to the extent that we're speaking about transactions that involve as much as 15 million, I think your computation, 15 million US is involved.
Yes.
Dr. Luncheon, two questions. The first one, could you say what is the exact financial status of the Ira Kramer Center, if it is in deficit, and how much? And secondly, I heard you clearly on the former president's disinterest in constitutional posts, but could you expound on Cabinet's view in relation to the motion filed and what are the perceived intentions?
Well, I have been careful, and I hope that my care has been noted. This is answering your second question, as I have sought to avoid being or participating in a public avoidance or a public offense against the principle, the sub judice principle. I believe that the constitutional motion that has been filed indeed precludes not only myself but from others to adopting public positions one way or the other. But I think I can get away with saying this. The constitutional amendment that included the term limits arose at a historic time in the evolution of the return of democracy in Guyana. It occurred at a historic time. If the argument is that we have matured and that amendment needs to be dispensed with, one would have to dissimilar such process that led to its amendment to consider a similar such approach. I would want to believe that to the extent that we believe, and we verily do, that the constitutional amendments are enforceable and indeed have been enforced over the decades of the term in office of the People's Progressive Party Civic, that one can safely say that even in the absence of a formal declaration of cabinet, its attitude to the current constitutional provision indeed remains unaltered. The first question, the exact numbers I do not have. It is available. I'm pretty certain that the directors can be approached where this information is concerned. But I believe over the years that Cabinet has been, for want of a better term, backstopping and supporting the center in meeting its financial obligations, it is clear that without the government's support over the more recent years, the deficit would have remained on the books and essentially would have threatened the Iwokrama International Center, would have threatened its financial viability and fundamentally its existence. A horrible thought, idea, situation that the government obviously would not readily contend.
You mentioned the extension of the Walter Rodney Commission of Inquiry. Can you say if additional funds would be needed or if the money budgeted for was exhausted?
No, I was asked this question before, and I thought that I had provided in the words of the administrator, who said to Cabinet at its most, well, not its most, the last meeting, spoke of the Commission's satisfaction, logistics, administrative, and financial preparations, that this is not a funding issue, that I don't know where the notion has arisen. I cannot understand its persistence, but I want to assure you that funding for the Commission is not an issue, and it has never been an issue.
But that was clarification I'm looking for, is whether or not the 112 million has been expended, or whether or not additional funds will be needed.
Whatever is needed to continue the Commission in its work up to the 31st of March 2012, which is the date, 2015, sorry, which is the date to which its life has been extended. I can assure you that those funds are secured for that purpose.
Dr. Luncheon, good morning. Stacey Carmichael, James NCA. The industrial unrest at the University of Guyana continues. What is Cabinet's view on this matter?
I think that the officials have spoken, and the discussion at Cabinet on this matter had more to do not with the strike itself, but its continuation and its escalation. I think it would be fair to say that Cabinet has viewed with considerable dismay the fact that the strike, the industrial unrest, has continued, and even with greater dismay, its escalation into actions that are indeed unsupportable. The sad reality is what the industrial unrest has and is preventing is the necessary focus, the commitment of all the stakeholders to addressing the very necessary challenges that all and sundry are aware of. Those challenges that the incoming Vice Chancellor, Professor Opudei, and the council at the University of Guyana, they are in possession. And in that context, all the stakeholders are in possession of the research, of the information, of the disclosures, of the revelations about the dire situation that face the university and the efforts that they are making to turn the tide and to improve on the situation. They have partnered with the government of Guyana, government that has made incisive contributions since Professor Opudei's and the council's revelations were brought to Cabinet's attention in one of many engagements with the university administration, with Cabinet. And it has seen the extended support that the government of Guyana has been offering. It is obvious that vested interests are at work and obviously feel threatened by what is being done and perhaps by the implications of the successes that can be garnered by these interventions. Vested interests are feeling threatened. And what we see here is clearly in Cabinet's own summation, the continuation of this industrial action is a rearguard action by those vested interests to thwart the Vice Chancellor, the Council, and to even delay or prevent the inevitable. Cabinet's anticipation is that saner heads would prevail. After all, this is an academic community where presumably there's no shortage of intellect. And indeed, that within a very short period of time, as the Student Society leader said, within a very short period of time, those steps that are being taken will be recognized for their worth and would contribute to a healing of the relationships that are being damaged by the continuation of the industrial unrest.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the media.